The centipede spiritual meaning is related to the loss of spiritual energy, to the weakening of the person. But what does this really mean, and what can you do about it? That's exactly what we'll explain throughout this video. It is not uncommon for animals to introduce themselves in our lives to bring some kind of message. This is not only true for large and common ones but also for insects, arachnids, and centipedes. So when a centipede appears in your life, whether in a dream, in your house, or appear to be present in various places, it indicates a message. Seeing them is receiving a spiritual message that you need to pay attention to something, making it possible to seek changes. What does the centipede symbolize? In the animal kingdom, the centipede is known as a venomous animal. They can usually be found in damp, dark places where they remain in order to hunt and survive. Because of its behavior as an animal, we can understand it more easily on the spiritual level. As a venomous animal, the presence of the centipede does not bring a positive representation. As on the real level, in the spirit world, seeing a centipede is to be facing a parasite. The main difference to be observed is that, as a real animal, it can be easily killed, solving possible problems or accidents. On the other hand, when your connection is present in the spiritual life, it indicates that there are parasites around you. Something or someone is stealing your energy. Spiritual meaning of the centipede. The spiritual meaning of the centipede is related to the loss of spiritual energy, to the weakening of the person. As a venomous animal, the centipede appears to represent something bad in your life, which has the potential to do you a lot of harm. It is more than a representation of what is happening, it is also a message that changes need to be made in your life. It is possible that you are feeling quite tired, without the energy to carry out the most basic tasks of your daily life. However, you cannot understand why this is happening. Although the centipede does not represent a reason how this phase started, it only indicates that this is related to your loss of spiritual energy. It is, therefore, the time to turn more to your spirituality and seek solutions to work on what the centipede represents in your life. In the sexual field, the centipede represents a disrespectful relationship with sexual issues. The centipede here presents itself as a link to the search for easy, uncontrolled, and vulgar sex. Sex life is seen from a different perspective, where there is no balance. The interest is not for quality, connection with the pair, but intensity and vulgarity. It is through these acts that your spiritual energy is increasingly used and wasted. In addition to causing a constant loss of your spiritual energy, the centipede also appears as a parasite that favors communicable diseases. Being concerned about yourself and trying to position yourself in a more balanced way in this field can be a good start. What should you do? If your desire is to promote for yourself a more positive, balanced, and fruitful life, the spiritual meanings of the centipede should be considered. There are no positive meanings related to this animal, which is already the first point to be considered. Living with less spiritual energy than you're supposed to be, will make each of your activities more complicated than they need to be. Allowing this animal to continue to function in your life, causing loss of energy, can be quite negative. Considering the general understanding, there is a loss of energy and, consequently, several other areas can be harmed. So it's important to have some level of concern about it, nothing exaggerated, but enough so that you can keep your balance. Seek spiritual balance, stay away from energy vampires, or learn the psychic self-defense strategy. Conclusion on centipede spiritual meaning. The centipede is a poisonous animal, not being a good visit in the physical world or the spiritual world. Whatever the situation, we must be careful with the centipede, as it does not indicate positive presences or moments of luck. The understandings aimed at the spiritual notion of this animal bring us negative meanings about it. Therefore, you should bear in mind that this animal symbolizes something wrong and that it shouldn't be happening. It is more than a sign of loss of spiritual energy, it is also a message of imbalance. Its presence represents something to be transformed, a change that needs to be applied in your life to avoid complicated losses. The longer you take to invest against the effects of the spiritual meaning of the centipede, the more your spiritual energy will suffer. Thus, the presence of the centipede must be considered with extreme seriousness, avoiding yourself from being spiritually harmed. Set spiritual goals aimed at balance in general and pursue them continuously, favoring a positive life whenever possible. Thank you for taking the time to watch our video. If you enjoyed it and found it useful, please consider sharing it with your friends and family if you think they might benefit from it. Subscribe and hit the bell button so you get notified when the next video is out. We tried to cover everything that we thought is important about this topic, but if you think we missed something or you have a question or anything else, please leave a comment below. We will try to answer as soon as we can and to the best of our knowledge.